Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining the first of 3 singing sessions with our national award-winning Hindustani vocalist and teacher, Shubha Chaki. My name is Ikra Pradhan, and I'm going to be your host, MC, moderator, whatever you want to call me, for the next 3 weeks. I'd also like to introduce our courageous volunteers for today's session, Nizar Nasser and Anisha Duradia, who will be called upon throughout the session. If you are interested in being a volunteer for the next week or the week after that, you can email arts.wrc@gmail.com. In the spirit of making this an interactive session, please feel free to post your relevant questions for Shubha in the chat. Take it away, Shubha.
Thank you, Ikra. Hi, everybody. I hope you're enjoying your Saturday afternoon. And let's dive into some of the questions that I keep getting from many people around me regarding improving their singing and some of the burning topics that we're going to discuss today. So I hope I'm able to cover as much as I can. And it's going to be a very fun and interesting session, I can tell. And not just today's, there are going to be 2 more lined up. So a total 3 of these. So let's get started. And feel free to write down your questions as you get in mind. And then, you can share them on chat with Ikra. And at the end of the session, I'm going to save some time to take all those questions and try to answer them as much as you can. Okay, so here we start. So the recap that I was planning to share in the last session that we did a couple of years back was singing high low notes with ease, vocal warm-ups, why should we do it, how should we do it, taking care of your voice, overcoming stage fright when singing, which is one of the very hot topics people keep asking, and some tips for riyaz. This was covered a couple of years back, and now I'm back with a little more deeper, in-depth questions that I plan to share today in today's session. So first one, how and when to use different voices. And this is the agenda for all sessions. So I'm going to just cover the agenda and quickly start with our today's session. Okay, so how and when to use different kind of voices: head voice, stomach voice, falsetto, chest voice, whisper, and hum. I assume that you attended the previous session, and then knowing those different kind of voices will just help you to attend today's session with understanding of how can you blend these voices, how can you sing your songs with these voices, or even understand what you're using. Okay, then the next topic we are going to cover is what is your natural scale. If you're a female, what should be your natural scale? If you're a male, what is your natural scale? We'll actually work out an exercise and we'll see how you can find your natural scale. Okay, and how to find the scale of a song. I keep getting questions like, how do I know which note the song is starting? Which are some of the key notes of the song? So it's very important to understand those notes. So the first step for that is how to find the scale of a song, to identify the right pitch of the song. Then comes the terminologies: alankars, murkis, harkats, riyaz, gamak, andolan, sargam, akar, alap, tal, tan, rag, etc., which we are going to cover probably in the next session because it'll just be too much to cover in one day. But these are some of the interesting terminologies that I see people keep getting confused with, and we need to understand in order to sing a little better. Okay, and then all about riyaz, what is it and how to do it, benefits of it, and should we do any riyaz with any instruments or not? That is another great question that I keep getting from people. What should be difference between morning routine and evening routine of music practice, riyaz? So we're going to talk about that towards the end of the 3 sessions. And then how to sing songs on tal. So I see people are singing, but they don't have any idea of what tal this is on or how to keep beats, how to keep rhythm. So we're going to talk about that in one of these sessions. And then how to learn a song. That's a step-by-step approach that we're going to cover towards the end of the 3 sessions. And of course, there are going to be practice alankars after every session, and we'll see how to practice, and they will be in the order of the difficulty. So today the practice alankars are going to be much easy. Anybody can try. The next session, depending on your level of understanding of the alankars, you can take it a little step up, and then the third session you will have the gist of all complicated ones, and we are going to learn some of the variations that we can do with alankars. And this is for all levels of people that are interested in singing, who are beginners in the singing, who are at intermediate level. Even advanced music students can benefit from these topics, and not just music students, but people, if you're into recitation of Ginans and Quran, and you are exercising your voice at a regular basis, these topics and these tips are going to help you to even understand what you're doing. So let's dive in. First one is how and when to use different kind of voices. So I'll give you some examples of what these voices are, and also I'll take some examples of songs that you can easily identify that, okay, this voice goes well with this particular song. And another idea that you should always keep in mind is, these voices, stomach voice, chest voice, head voice, falsetto, so many different terms, right? These are all technical terms, but what you should be focusing is the feel of the song. So let's take an example of what is a chest voice. So chest voice is that voice that you hear the vibrations, feel the vibrations in the chest. So when you're singing, you're comfortably resting at one place and then just starting to sing. I'm going to set my Tanpura. So throughout the session, I just want to also share that this is a Tanpura app. I don't know if it's mirroring, but this is a Tanpura app that I generally use. iTabla Pro. I use it on my iPad. And this is very important for all music students, for you to install it on your phone or iPad, just to keep it handy and keep a pitch going. And that way you want to make sure that you're always on the pitch, okay? So I'm going to set it to A. That is my natural scale. Sa. I want all of you to try and join me. So we're going to sing Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa at a very comfortably seated position. The reason I'm saying comfortably seated position is I want your chest voice to come up and not any pressure from the stomach or, nothing effort. It should be all effortless, okay? So let's start again. Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa. So this was scale A, only Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa. And now we're going to do this one more time, and I want you to see and feel the vibrations that you're getting in around the chest area, okay? The throat and the chest area is very important. And that's what will tell you that, okay, I'm using my chest voice. If you're not hearing or feeling your vibrations here, then you need to just do it a little more number of times to feel it, okay? Most likely, and this goes for everybody, not just male or female, And of course, I am on a female scale. But in general, if you are a male or a female, the sa, re, ga, ma, pa, these are the notes that will always get your chest voice up. Okay, so that'll just activate those chest voice muscles. Okay, so let's get going one more time, and I want you guys to feel the vibrations in the chest while you're singing. Okay, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, this was your chest voice. Okay, now comes to stomach voice. Stomach voice is not produced from the stomach. Okay, the voice is always going to be produced from the voice muscles, vocal muscles, vocal cords. But when I say stomach voice, when we hear the term stomach voice, it's for you to understand that the power is coming from stomach. So while you were singing Saregamapa right now with me, you were probably you were not probably feeling anything in your stomach. But when you're going to now sing, let's say any song that needs that power for you to just go out loud and project your voice out there. Okay, so that is going to be your stomach voice. I can sing, give an example of this song by Kailash Kher. हीरे मोती मैं ना चाहूं. See, observe. I want to project out my voice, okay? And I'm just going out loud, and I'm feeling the stomach muscles to push through and bring the power out, okay? So that's your stomach voice. हीरे मोती मैं ना चाहूं, मैं तो चाहूं संगम तेरा. See, you probably have seen that I'm kind of stressing on this area, and that's what it should be. Okay, so that'll just tell you that you're using your stomach voice. I do get people, students who come to me saying that I don't even know what voice I'm using. This is one way to understand, as if you're straining, you feel that you're always pushing a lot from your stomach, then you're definitely using a significant chunk of your stomach voice. And if you feel that you're always at a very comfortable, easy position and you're just effortlessly singing, most likely you're singing in chest voice or head voice. Now we're going to talk about head voice. Okay. Now, for example, this Bollywood song. चुपके से रात के चादर तले चांद की भी आहट ना हो, बादल के पीछे जले जले कतरा कतरा, गले कतरा कतरा, रात भी ना हिले. Pay attention here, okay? रात भी ना हिले, आधी आधी, रात भी ना हिले, आधी आधी. Okay, going back to that place that I said, pay attention here, because that was the place where I could hear some vibrations in my head area. Okay, of course, the voice was produced from my vocal muscles. But when you sing at higher pitches or higher notes, or you go up on the higher octave, you're either using your head voice or stomach voice. If you have the power in your stomach voice, definitely go out loud and choosing a particular song that needs that power. Yes, go for it. But if you want to sing softer songs like this, and there are many other songs, so if you want to pick any softer songs which has higher notes, definitely you're going to be using your head voice. And if you're not using your head voice, you feel you're straining your voice a lot because you want to hit that high note, and you feel that you're not able to hit, most likely you're probably not using the right voice. And that is the idea of this topic that I wanted to bring up. And then comes the voice which is whisper. Okay, so whisper is, of course, you whisper into somebody's ear. When we talk musically, what is whisper? Using the same whisper musically. Okay, so the same song, let's go and try singing the first two words. Chupke se, chupke se. So just go with the feel of the song, the word, and see what it actually means or what it needs you to do. Okay, so chupke se is like, just you have to go softer on those words, and you can use whisper in certain portions of that particular line, or take any song that needs you to just go a little softer and really whisper, but again, you're coming back up on the song and the notes and what it needs you to do. Okay, so that is whisper. I would say whisper is used most likely when you're recording in a recording studio and you need to bring in the dynamics of the song in your voice, bring in the feel and everything. Whisper is definitely used. I have not much seen people using whisper in live performances, or not much in devotional songs when you're singing. But yes, Bollywood songs, take any song, you will probably see here and there a little bit of whisper based on the lyrics. Okay. Anyways, coming to the next is hum. Hum is very important for us to do humming on songs which is close to your heart. Like you listen to a song and you want to sing, but you're probably not ready with the lyrics. You just want to hum and do that. Okay, humming the tune will actually exercise the vocal muscles, sends the signal to the brain that these are the notes, if not technically, but at least the brain knows with respect to each other which are the notes that it is hitting using the vocal muscles, so that when you have the lyrics ready, you're ready to go. Okay, so humming is definitely very important, and do that. You can pick any song and just hum. Humming will actually use most of the chest voice, but also a lighter form of chest voice. Okay, so maybe not the whole set of muscles are used, but just a few strands, okay, are used for humming. But humming is very important. Do that. Okay, so that is all about what are these voices and how you can use these voices. You can use these voices for voice modulation, and we all should be doing that. You cannot take stomach voice. Let's say you have very bass, very very good stomach voice. You can probably not do the whole dynamic range of the octave using the stomach voice, because the stomach voice is not meant to go that high. Like when I sang Hire Moti, I'm probably maxed out at my stomach voice, but I cannot sing the whole song in stomach voice. It'll just give up, it'll break. Okay, and it'll probably cause damages more. So you should always try to work on voice modulation. And when I say voice modulation, I mean go by the lyrics, the feel of the lyrics, soften at certain places and go louder at certain places based on the lyrics. Okay, understand the lyrics and then give weightage. Like even when you're talking, if you're delivering a speech, if you're talking to somebody like a heavy conversation, you emphasize certain words, you emphasize certain sentences, you soften certain words to express the feel of the sentence, right? Express what you want to express. Exactly the same goes with songs. So if you want to really deliver the best output for a particular song for you individually, I would say just go by the lyrics and go with what you feel needs to soften and what you feel needs to go out loud. Okay, and this, when I said individually, I really meant it. I've also seen people just idealizing, you know, legendary singers like Lata Mangeshkar Didi and Shreya Ghoshal and Arijit Singh, and they just want to sing exactly how they have sung. What I suggest is go by what your voice is meant for and go by what you feel you should be doing. Of course, you're listening to the songs probably in a loop and just, you know, hooked onto a particular song and you want to sing exactly sound like them. Honestly, nobody can sound like anybody else. Okay, so you're you and your voice needs to be just your voice. Okay, so that is the reason we are actually doing the session today, for you to understand why even, you know, why even you need to know what is your natural scale and, you know, how to use voice modulation. So coming to the next part of the voice modulation, I would like to invite our volunteers, and I just want to understand, I would want them to sing one line of their favorite songs. So we have Nizar and Anisha. You guys can come on up and sing any line, any of the you know, any line of the song, and then I can tell what voice they're probably using. So Nizar, take it up.
Just before you start, I wanted to mention that the chat isn't working, and so if you can just raise your hand, we'll unmute you and you can ask questions along the way.
Gary with everyone. As a sample, this is a song by Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, Dam Mast Kalandar. Dam mast kalandar, mast mast, dam mast kalandar, mast. Dam mast kalandar, mast mast, dam mast kalandar, mast. एक विरद है दम दम अली अली, एक विरद है दम दम अली अली, सखी लाल कलंदर मस्त मस्त, सखी लाल कलंदर मस्त मस्त, झूले लाल कलंदर मस्त मस्त, दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त मस्त, दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त.
Great. Thank you so much, Nizar, and it was great singing. So what I can think of, what Nizar, what you used as your voices is probably the first two lines, the mast kalandar mast mast. So that line, and then all the way probably up to ek vird hai dam dam ali ali. That was a blend of stomach and chest, and the first line was a chest for like probably 100% of that. And then when you went to the Sakhi Lal Kalandar, when it goes on that high sa, that was your stomach voice. And if you all could see that, you know, his face was a little held up, the chin was up, and he was, you know, projecting his voice. So yeah, that was your stomach voice. And of course, this is a great Qawwali by Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab. So amazing job. So that's how you identify what voice you're using. So it could be just one voice, it could be a blend of voices, it could be just a, you know, like depending on what you really want to do, how you want to focus on which lyrics. So yeah, so this was one good example of a blend of chest and stomach voice. Okay, great. So let's move on to the next slide. What is my natural scale? And this is again a very important topic, and I will share some quick info, and then we'll have our volunteers pop in again, and we'll diagnose what their scale is. So what is your natural scale, and why do you want to actually care about your natural scale, right? So if you're singing on a karaoke, the karaoke music is all set and it's the original scale. You probably have had issues like, oh, I cannot reach that high. Can we bring the karaoke music down? or it's too low for me, can you bring it up, or won't even bother probably like bringing it down or up, but you would just probably push through, and you probably do not sound like your natural voice, and then it's not good. It's actually very harmful for your voice. So you need to definitely find out your natural scale in order to observe your tonal quality and nurture it, right? So each one of us have our own individual tonal blessing in the form of tonal quality, which cannot match with anybody else. So let's try and see how you find out your natural scale. Okay, so females, there is a set of scales, the scale range for female scale, and there are scale range for male scales. You may have also had issues when you're singing with a duet partner. If you're a male, you're singing with a female partner, and then the original song, either one of you would have to adjust, right? So if it is too high, then the female push through. If it is low, then the male has to come down. So there is a range of scales that a female has and could sing on comfortably, and there is a range of scales that male can sing comfortably. Okay, so female range that I can think of, that I've come across, is mostly between G to B. Okay, so when I say G scale, what do you mean by G? So this is sa sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. This is your G scale. G sharp, sa sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. A, sa sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. See how when I'm increasing the scales by half, I'm actually bringing my frequency also up, like bringing my voice frequency also up. So that's what you mean by pitch, right? Voice pitch. Sa, A sharp, sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. See, I'm going higher now, but still singing the same sa re ga ma, still singing on a particular scale. Okay, and this is B. Sa sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. So this is a range of female scales that I have seen. There is a range of C to E roughly for male scales as well, and we are going to have volunteers for this, and we'll see how you can do it yourself. But the first criteria you need to do is you have to have any Tanpura app on your phone. Okay, without any Tanpura app, you cannot diagnose your own scale. So I would want you to follow the exercise either with us now, or just download the app and then try to do that home. So asking for volunteers again, Anisha or Nizar, whoever wants to join.
I can do it.
Are you both of you? Okay, Anisha, hi. So Anisha, let's say we'll start with G as your scale. Okay, so the idea is for you to sing sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa just the way I sang, and then if you're feeling comfortable, we are going to go 2 notes up of sa, and then we are going to sing 2 notes below of the lower sa. So sa ni dha, the lower 2 notes, and then sa re ga, the upper 2 notes. This should be your comfortable dynamic range, and if you're comfortable only and only then you should say this is my scale. Okay, so I'm going to set G for Anisha. Okay, Anisha, sa, try this.
Sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa.
Very good. Did you have any strain in your voice?
No.
No, you sounded good. Okay. Now I want you to sing 2 notes above sa and then 2 notes below sa as well. So start from sa to higher sa and go up to re and ga and come all the way down to sa and sing sa ni dha at the end. Okay. So I can also sing along if you want.
Yes.
Sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa re ga re sa ni dha pa ma ga re sa ni dha. Okay, do you want to do it one more time, Anisha?
I can do that.
Sa
Re ga ma pa da ni sa sa re ga ma
So
pa
after the higher sa re ga, sing the sa re ga there.
sa re
Sa
sa re ga ma pa da ni sa.
okay, so I would take it up to sa re ga ma pa. Okay, you were very good up to pa, which is amazing. Yeah, okay. Now let's try the lower end. Okay, so hit the lower sa again. Sa
Sa ni da.
So we need to go lower than sa. Sa ni dha. Try this.
Sa ni da.
Good. Okay. So what I can see is, and you all would also have noticed, she has a very good higher range and a less of the lower range. So now our goal is to bring her pitch a little further up so that she has a balance above the sa and below the sa. Okay. So I'm going to go up one, like half the note above G, which is G sharp. Okay. So this is G sharp. Sa. Now try sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa and then sa re ga, Anisha. Sa.
Re ga ma pa da ni sa.
Re ga.
Re.
Good. Can you do you think you can go up to ma all the way?
I don't think so.
Sa re ga ma.
Sa re ga.
Sa sa re ga ma.
Sa
Sa.
re.
Sa, I think you lost the higher. No, you
Yeah.
lost the higher sa. And
Yeah.
this is very common, okay? So I'm sure all of us do that. Sa.
Re ga
Go up high.
sa
Go higher.
re. Higher. Sa
Yeah, higher.
re ga ma pa da.
So when you're sa re ga ma, it should, yeah, so when you're singing sa re ga ma, it should go higher than sa. Sa re ga ma.
Sa re
Sa.
re ga ma.
You're no, you're coming down. So what I can think of is you have a better G sharp range than G with more balance. And I know because on G you were able to go up to pa, and now on G sharp I'm very pretty sure that you're going to be comfortable up till ma. And let's try the lower notes. Sa, ni, dha, pa, sa.
I don't know. My voice is breaking. Sa, ni, tha. It's not going after that. No, not
Good. Okay. No, this. Yes, this is a very common scenario that I've seen. You probably have a more warmed up voice, and hence your lower voice is, by this time in the afternoon it's not working. But do you think this dha was more comfortable than the previous dha, the lower dha that you sang in the previous scale?
yeah, I think so.
This was better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You could also, if you ask me, you could also scale above G sharp. You could probably try it on A, and then you'll definitely get a balanced dynamic range. So you would be able to go up to sa re ga on the higher side, and lower end your sa ni dha pa also would be comfortable. This is my suggestion, okay? But let's have you do it as a homework, okay? Your first homework is to install the tanpura at your end, and then try this exercise out. And all of you all, if you're understanding what we're doing here, so start from any arbitrary number, any scale that you see you fit in, okay? For male, certain pitch, and female, certain pitch. Try from any arbitrary scale and then do this. So you have to tweak yourself up or down depending on how much you can go beyond the sa to sa. Okay. Nizar, do you want to try quickly?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. So let's try you on C.
Okay.
Okay. So here is C. Sa.
Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa
Go up high.
re pa.
That's it. Okay. Now, very good job. Come back down. Sa, ni, dha.
Ni, da, pa, ma. So up to pa.
Good.
Ma is
Very good. Okay. How comfortable were you? Pretty comfortable.
Okay, all right, I think. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Maybe I could have shifted the scale half up, probably.
Half up, yes. Yeah, that's the idea. Okay, so let's do that and give it one shot. Sa.
Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa ni da pa ma ga.
Okay, great. And how about the higher side? You skipped the higher side.
Yes.
Sa.
Re ga ma pa da ni sa. That's the end of
Very
it.
good job. Okay. Yeah, no, I would say you're an exception. You have, more than probably 2.5 octaves of your dynamic range. And of course, you probably have been singing and exercising the range a little bit. But yeah, I feel C sharp, you sounded a lot better and a lot more flexible and maneuverable with your voice in this scale. And you could, as homework, you could try D and D sharp. And by rule of elimination, you can say, okay, no, D sharp is definitely not my scale. It's just pulling myself, my voice too much on the higher end. Then just eliminate D sharp, and probably C sharp D is one of your comfortable scales. So this is exactly what you need to do as if you're able to do this, what we did. Download and install any Tanpura app and try this out, and make sure you know what your pitch is, your natural pitch. Okay. Now coming to the next slide, and we will understand a little more why even you need to understand your natural pitch. Next slide is how to find sa of a song. Okay, this is a very hot question that I keep getting from people who have been singing. They've been singing on karaoke's or just singing devotional songs, and probably starting to learn classical music. So we need to find the sa of the song in order to even know what the notes are of a song. Okay, first topic, first point that I would want to highlight, how you even get to this point, is find the most resting note of the first line. Most likely that will be the sa of the song. And we're going to take an example here. So I get myths from students. I've also heard somebody mentioning that, oh, I thought wherever the song starts is the sa of the song. No, that may be or may not be the answer of that may or may not be the sa of the song. The sa of the song is different than what you think. And how you actually come to it is sa. Think of sa as your home note. Okay, so how comfortable you feel as being at home, right? So that should be your sa of the song, where you feel a particular word in the lyrics. Maybe it just feels like, oh, this is the right place to rest at. Okay, so for example, some of you may have heard, if you're into Bollywood songs and old classics. So this song is a very a popular one by Muhammad Rafi. Abhi na jao chhod kar ke dil abhi bhara nahi. So read the first line. First, find the most resting note of the first line. Okay. Abhi na jao chhod kar. Yes, we are also resting here, but ke dil abhi bhara nahi. This is a comfortable place where the line comes and rests. Okay, this also may not be true for all the songs, but by doing this exercise on this particular song, you'll start understanding how it works. Okay, you just have to feel that word or that place that the line rests on for a longer duration, or you just feel at home. Okay, so this was your sa of the song. Abhi na jao chhod kar ke dil abhi bhara nahi. Now, assuming that you understand this is okay, this is the sa of the song, let's move on. Abhi abhi to aaye ho, bahar ban ke chhaaye ho, hawa zara महक तो ले, नजर जरा महक तो ले, ये शाम ढल तो ले जरा. Again, there are going to be places where the line, where other lines are resting and they are just taking a pit stop, I would say, right? But they may not be the final resting point. ये शाम ढल तो ले जरा, ये दिल संभल तो ले जरा, मैं थोड़ी देर जी तो लूं, नशे के घूंट पी तो लूं, अभी तो कुछ कहा नहीं, अभी तो कुछ सुना नहीं. See, it came back to the same point and felt like at ease. That is, so you basically validate your answer from the rest of the lines of the song that yes, that was your sa. Now, once you find the sa of the song, then you start, you play the tanpura on and see where is that note, okay? Sa. So that was my C sharp sa for the scale that I was singing. You can sing the same song on every single scale that you can think of. If you want to sing the same song on A sharp, the concept remains the same. The song will also remain the same. Everything will just shift downward, okay? But the song will not change. So if my sa was there, now here on this A sharp scale, sa. Now that you know that the sa was that, after bringing down to A sharp, now I know my sa here. Sa abhi na jao chhod kar ke dil abhi bhara nahi, abhi na jao chhod kar ke dil abhi bhara nahi, and so on. So the song does not change. What changes is the pitch of the song that you want it, wherever you want it, okay? And then now you know the sa of the song. You have to try and figure out the notes of the song, which is somewhat challenging for people who are still starting to get into the this form of music, classical music, or even have no idea what these notes are. So for them, I would say, all you have to do is practice the alankars. There are going to be some alankars at the end of the slide, and we are almost at the end of the slide, so for the presentation today. But all I can say is you have to practice those alankars just to familiarize yourself with the notes, okay? Think of you're driving from home to office, your work, right? So there are many ways that you can reach the workplace, but just pick one way, one route that works with you, that is the fastest, or that you just prefer, and keep going back and forth a few days, and you just know the road, right? You get familiarized with the road. You start noticing other things around in the drive, right? The first couple times you're just focusing, okay, I have to be there on time, I have to do this, I have to do that. So think of that exactly an analogy for singing the alankars. So when you're singing the first time sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa, you're focusing on sa re ga ma, right? Couple times, couple days, couple months of practice, and then you get comfortable with the notes, and then come back to this particular exercise of finding notes of a particular song, okay? The easy method is pick a song that is very easy, that has very soothing effect, and has more resting places, okay? That'll just help you to get started with this exercise. So with the same song, let's try and identify. I'll show you how I do it generally, and then you can come up with your own methods. See if this clicks with you, okay? So going back to the C sharp, sa abhi, the first note that abhi starts on, the first letter that where it starts on, sa abhi abhi na jao abhi sa you just have to see how far your first note is from the sa. Abhi sa. Now if you have practiced the alankars, if you have done some form of sargam practice so far, then you'll be able to track down or track up yourself to that particular note of abhi. Sa re ga Do you think this is the same note that we were singing? Abhi, abhi, ga. There you are. So you have it as your first note, right? So your first letter is, first note is ga. Abhi na jao ga ma ga re ga. अभी न जाओ छोड़ कर सा नि धा नि re. And all these notes you will have to have patience to figure out with go very slow with every letter. Abhi na ga ma ga jao re ga. But again, you're always keeping yourself to the pitch of the tanpura. Sa sa chod kar sa ni da cho. So when you sing cho, cho, see how it's matching with the sa of the tanpura. Cho sa ni da chod kar. This topic itself will take another hour. Okay, so this is just the basic of how you should do it, and feel free to work it out as a homework of this song. Or I have another song that I recently got introduced to, and it's a very popular song. लब पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी, लब पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी, जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत है खुदाया मेरी. You probably have heard this song, so why don't you try finding notes for this particular song? And one hint I can give you just for you to get started on this is, again, bring the tanpura on. Never do this without a tanpura playing, okay? Sa lappe lappe. For this particular song, your starting note is the sa, and that's all that I can give out. Okay, so the rest is your homework, and we come to the next slide and the last slide for our presentation today.
Shubha,
Alankars or
question, if that's okay.
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
So it's probably, would it be easier to figure out the the sargam, or what, I don't know what you call it, with the sarega thing on on an instrument? Because I don't think, unless you until you practice so much that the sargam is part of your
System.
nature, you wouldn't be able to figure out whether it's a half step and what note it's called within that scale.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yes and no. I would say yes, for people who are well accustomed with that instrument. So let's say harmonium, right? Harmonium or a piano or a keys that has set notes on them. So yes, it would be easier to just figure out the tune on the harmonium, but that's an added step for people who have no idea about that instrument. So for them, it's like, oh my God, I have to now learn that instrument to even figure out where each note sounds like. And second point is, so I have, and this was this is going to be discussed in one of our sessions, upcoming sessions, is that should you do riyaz on an instrument like harmonium, right? I would say my short answer and straight answer is no. The reason is, you get so used to using that instrument that if you do not have that instrument, you're shaking, you're not confident, and then your notes are like, your brain knows that, oh, there is a crutch that I can hold on to, right? So your harmonium becomes that support. that brain just subconsciously accepts that, oh, that's going to be always there. Similarly, if you're yeah, I mean, harmonium or any other instrument that you're so used to singing with, okay, but when it comes to singing with just tanpura, it kind of sharpens your ear. You're always paying attention to that drone that is being played, like pa sa pa sa. So these are the key notes that you should always be aware of when you're doing the riyaz on harmonium or figuring notes on your harmonium and then singing along. I would say once in a while is fine, but when it comes to doing it every single time you're doing this, it's not a good practice because you're not aware of where is your pa unless you really press that pa and sa. And another way you can do this without the tanpura is just press sa pa sa on the harmonium. Don't play it. Okay, just use it only for your reference. So just play sa pa sa on the harmonium. I've done it. I've done all kinds of these exercises with harmonium, without harmonium, and there was a point where I was so hooked onto the harmonium that without harmonium I would be freaking out, like, oh, I have to now sing without it. And I am seeing many students come to me who are in the same realm of, they're so dependent on the harmonium. So short answer, it's not a good idea to do this on a regular basis. Once in a while, if you're already learning a piano, taking courses of piano or harmonium, you know the notes are, and you just need your vocal muscles to get used to, or brain to understand, okay, that's the re, that's the re, that's the re, that's the ga. Yes, go for it, but don't make it a habit.
Thank you.
Sure. So yeah, for the paltas, yes. Ikra, do you have anything? I know we are at the end of the session. 4
Yeah,
o'clock
that's
it is.
basically what I was just going to give a little heads up to start wrapping up, but yeah.
Yes, yeah. So this is the Alankars paltas, and I can have, if Nizar or Anisha want to volunteer. If not, if you're running short of time, then I can just sing some of these, and then I can give it as homework for people who are aware of these, and then they can do as homework, and okay, for some reason that H that you hear, that you see, H and L, they were supposed to be superscript and subscript, and they're not displaying correctly. If you see an H, which means it's a higher sa, and if you see an L after a note, then it means a lower octave, that note. Okay, so I'll give a couple examples. Nizar, do you want to volunteer, since you're up on the video? Do you want to volunteer singing some of one of these alankars, or couple?
Maybe I can do the first and the fifth.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Is it clear that it's just plain saregama padhanisa sanidapa magarisa?
Yeah. So
the H and L, I don't know, maybe it's my computer that's just displaying a different way.
So I think we've done the saregama padhanisa before, but I'll do it quickly.
Sure, yeah. So okay, so again, sorry to interrupt. Go with the tanpura again. Okay, so always, no, never, yeah. Sa.
Got it. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa
Very good.
sa re ga ma pa.
So if you're doing the number 5, you just have to repeat the sa sa. Sa sa re ga ga
ma pa pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa.
Very good. Good. I think we are good for today, and these are the alankars that I would say would be a good practice after today's session. These are basic ones, and all of you all just make sure that you take out that H and L from the if you are taking a screenshot, or just H is for the higher sa and L is for the lower that particular note. So if you're, let's say, the second one, sa pa sa, so this is what I mean by higher sa. Okay, so sa pa sa pa, this is the lower pa pa sa. So that's what it means by H and L. So one more thing that I should have mentioned before. So if you go back to these slides and you see these these images, they're actually video screenshots of my video tutorials that are already covering these topics. So if you want to do a refresher of what it is and get a little more information, feel free to browse through my channel and go to these videos, and there are like full video sessions of these. Okay, so for every slide we have like what's my natural scale, there's already a video covered on that. How to find sa of the song, there's a video on that, and lot more depth than what we just discussed today. And of course, the Alankars and Paltas, I have a series of Riyaz tutorials. There's a playlist for Riyaz tutorials on my channel. And how would you see my channel on YouTube? It's Shubha Chaki. Just type in Shubha, Shubha Chaki, and you'll see there my channel is. And you can search through my channel, check the playlist, and see what you want it from that. So I'm done for today, and we open up for the Q&A. If we are able to get those questions from people. Ikra, do you think?
I think we're over time at this